Last year I had plans to host 35 events across 7 different countries, and then, well, maybe you know.
Breaking news tonight, the coronavirus forcing millions more Americans into virtual lockdown, ordered to stay at home.
I love meeting new people and designing memorable experiences for others, so when I completely changed my career to focus on this more operational sort of role, and then we went into a complete lockdown in March, yeah, I was feeling some initial uncertainty and loss. So here I was. I had a full calendar of events, but there was this global pandemic and the office was shutting down, so I had to let it all go. You're here to learn about hosting design events, so maybe you'll have guessed it by now, I haven't let a global pandemic hold me back from designing memorable experiences for other people. The pandemic has been not great for many reasons, but at the same time, I think it's also been helpful in challenging us to adapt and change. As an example, with virtual events, more people from more locations can attend experiences they would have never otherwise been able to attend, making events more accessible. Maybe you were able to attend one of the events I hosted last year with Zendesk. Let me know if you did in the comment section below. I think when we go back to in-person events, this sort of virtual mindset will still remain. I know that it will be something that's top of mind for me. For now, I'll walk you through an overview of what my process was developing virtual design events last year. Step 1, write a proposal. Like any sort of design project, I think events need to start with a proposal. This is where you'll need to answer some of the most important questions, like what is the specific problem to be solved? What is the event theme or topic? Why are you bringing people together about this topic? Who is the audience? And what is the desired outcome? You will also want to start thinking about the logistics of the event. Where will the event be hosted? How will people sign up? How many people do you want to attend? That kind of stuff. Make sure to document the answers to these questions in a shareable document like Google Docs so you can collaborate with other people who may be helping you put the event together. Once everyone's on the same page, it's time to start making things happen. Step 2, start creating the content. Content is key for any sort of live experience. The first content you will want to develop and finalize will be the event title, description, and agenda. This will be what you use to promote the event and will ensure expectations for attendees and speakers is set from the very beginning. Since this is a design event, you will also want to make sure that you have well-designed event assets for promoting the event online. You can expect to need some sort of event banner as well as assets for sharing on social media like Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Next is the content that will be presented at the event. If you're hosting a panel discussion, then you will want to prepare questions or themes for the panelists to use to prepare mentally. It's best practice to have the facilitator come up with a plan so that when they are facilitating the live discussion, it comes out more naturally. Maybe this is a hot take, but I don't really enjoy listening to panelists all answer the same question. So if you're writing the content for a panel discussion, maybe think about directing certain conversational topics towards separate people. If someone will be preparing content to present, you will want to ensure that they are aligned with you on the proposal and understand the attendees' expectations. Finally, if you're hosting the event, you will want to make sure that you have prepared introductory content. You should plan to set the stage, ensure everyone feels welcome, and introduce the speakers. Step 3. Open event signups. As the event draws closer, you will want to open up the event so that people can sign up. How much time ahead of time you do this is really up to you. You'll want to open up signups with enough time so that people can ensure that they are available, but also not with too much time so they don't forget about it or just feel like they can't commit because it's so far in advance. With the events I've been hosting, I found opening up signups about 3 weeks out is a good amount of time. Some good platforms to consider for signing people up to your event could be Eventbrite or meetup.com. For virtual events, neither of these platforms actually host the events, so you'll want to have a plan in place for that. Lots of events were hosted using Zoom video conferencing software last year, including the ones I ever saw, and I highly recommend using it. Step 4, practice and prepare. I think this step is very important, especially for virtual events. If your event is online, about 1 week before your event, I recommend bringing the event group together to practice the logistics of the virtual stage. This includes getting comfortable with video conferencing software, ensuring the speakers know how to share their slides without sharing their speaker notes, how to properly use the chat, amongst other things you want to prepare them for the vision of your event. If you have multiple speakers and they haven't met before this moment, this is also a good time for them to get to know each other a little bit and become a little bit more comfortable. These little moments will make a big difference during the live experience. You'll also want to make sure attendees will know how to access the event, and for yourself, make sure you know how to let them in once the event is live. Depending on the software you use and the settings you choose, this may differ. I also recommend getting a sense of what the event will look like and feel like for your audience. Any good designer knows that it's all about understanding the people you are designing for. Step 5, host the live event. It's showtime. All the work you've done to prepare for a good experience is now put to the test. By the end of 2020, I hosted 9 live virtual design community events, and here are some things I learned about how to make the event go more smoothly. First, set a vibe for the event and play music in the background while people are joining. Second, make sure you have a light source in front of you. If you don't have fancy lighting equipment, that's okay. Try sitting in front of a window. If it's dark outside and you don't have lights to use, oh well. Just try to make sure that there's not a bright light behind you. Make sure the event speakers have tried to set up good lighting where they are located as well. And lastly, prepare your introduction. I wrote scripts for all of the events I hosted and read them off word for word to introduce the event. To make sure my introduction looked and sounded natural, I practiced and recorded my part so I could see what I would look like as an attendee. I put my script on my phone and then I placed it in the middle of the screen so my eyes were not looking in an awkward direction. I don't think this is the best approach per se, but this is what made me feel way more comfortable and in control of the event. And finally, step 6, follow up with attendees. After the event is over, make sure to follow up with the event attendees and provide them with any more information that may have been discussed during the event. This could be links to the websites that were brought up by the speakers. You can include a recording of the event so people can go back and watch it, and you can even include a survey to collect feedback. I'd recommend trying to send the email out the day after the event is over, or at least within the week of the event happening. And that's how you host a virtual design event. Now, that was a lot of information, I know. If you're planning to host a design event soon, I'd love to hear about it. Tell us about it in the comment section below. When it comes to virtual events, what are you interested in learning more about? Is there anything that's holding you back from trying to host one? I plan to host even more events this year and would love to hear what you are all curious about with this process. That's all for now though. I hope to see you next time. Bye.